So it's day 4,672, probably, on our fabulous journey of discovery, as autocrafters would say. We are preparing to fire the engine here in the workshop very soon, probably within the next week, hopefully. In preparation for that, we have done quite a few things in the shop and quite a few things in just getting ready. The first thing that we did, obviously, if we turn over here, is we see that the engine is now out of the cradle and in a actual true engine stand. The engine run stand supports the engine and allows us to be able to start it with all of its ancillary requirements and functions in a safe way. But to that end, first we had to find one, we had to have it delivered, we had to put it together. There's a few design flaws with this unit that I would like to point out. This is the Larin. You basically could see the information in the description. And the important thing about the design flaw with this well, there's one, in my opinion, one design flaw and one significant problem. And the problem was pointed out by my engine builder. And he pointed out that the gauges that come with this unit are really not great. So, because I trust him completely in kind of guiding me through this process, we need to replace all of these gauges with something a little more reliable because we don't want anything to happen to the engine. So the second thing is, and this is what, in my opinion, truly a design flaw of this particular unit, is the casters are a structural member of putting the entire stand together, but they're really not well rated or designed for this application because it is very difficult to move this engine stand, number one. And number two, they're too small. Let me flip this around. The wheels, okay, hold on. Center it again. The wheels are little. The problem is when you lift up an engine with an engine hoist, this engine hoist is, do I have a tape measure handy? Of course I don't. I have 23 in there. Well, here, we'll just do it this way. This engine hoist, most engine hoists, have a certain height to them. And the legs of the engine hoist have to go underneath whatever you're putting the engine in. So when you go over here, you see that's a problem. That this stand is at least 3 to 4 inches too short for the leg to go underneath to be able to have the engine go from wherever it's coming from using this to put it in there. So when you watch the video of me trying to get this thing in here, it is literally, well, you decide for yourself. I'll make sure that there's a link available to you pretty soon about that video, because that was quite the exercise of getting this engine and getting the legs of this stand underneath there, to lift this up, to put the engine in it, to then get it back out so that we are where we are now. But I digress. These have to be changed out. And the one thing that he cautioned me on was do not get gauge sets where the gauges and their transmission of the information is mechanical. You should get gauges that are electrical, because many of the connections for water sensor, water temperature sensor, which I believe is right down in there, that's an electrical connection. The oil pressure, which is here, electrical. So it's better for the accuracy of monitoring, according to my engine builder, to have electrical connections. So what we did, now we're coming back over here. I apologize for all the crazy moving around, is we went ahead and purchased some Autometer gauges as a gauge set, but that leads me to the next complication. Not really a complication, but you know, the next ironic part of this journey is that in order to get electrical gauges, they're little. This is the only way to get three that I could find, to get 3 gauges in a set where they are all electrical and none of them are mechanical. And I double checked the part numbers and double checked the sets and double checked the individual part numbers, specifically for the, I think the temperature gauge was the one that was the most important, that these could be electrical, but that one was mechanical. So as you can see in these instructions, you can see mechanical, electrical, water temperature, electrical, all electrical. The other one has like this cable and a tube and a thing that connects that way, and it's transferring heat to the cable. And from what I understand, they are not as reliable. So this is what I bought. It was $99 on Amazon, and it came in a day, which is great for me because I don't do things too far in advance. These are the ones I really wanted. Wait. Yeah, see that one with the overlay on it? Can you see that? That one right there? I really wanted that set. But the problem is with that set, not electrical. I double checked to make sure and confirmed that it was not electrical, because I had the instructions. You could download this PDF for all of these, and when I downloaded for that set, it showed the difference between the two. So let's do a little bit of an unboxing video today. Our big work comes in 2 days on Saturday, when we actually start doing things to get this engine ready. And so I'll show you this. Let's see what we have here. We have a pretty nice box. Kind of looks like the box a model car would come in. Shows you the part number, mini gauge set. There's the part number right there. Is this right side up? Right, there you go. Okay, mini part number right there. Right there. Thank you. Okay. And so, is there a way to zoom in? There's not a way to zoom in. I guess you're stuck with what you got. What you got is what you got. So they are nice. They're little. They're fluffy. No. Okay, here's what looks to be, this looks to be the pressure sending unit for the oil pressure. I'm not sure if I have to switch out the one I have or not. Again, he's gonna actually assist me in understanding how all of this functions and works together. Here is the gauges themselves inside this tube. Oh, here's some more stuff. Here's some, this is a copy of the instructions. Here's some more things for the sensors. Here's some lights. Ooh, we got lights. Wonder why we got lights. Wonder what that's about. Is that a light or is that a sensor? What the heck is that? Let me look at the instructions. On-off power switch. I don't know. I don't know what those definitely look like lights to me. Let us disconnect them. Oh, I just gotta, I'll use a pair of scissors since that's what's handy. Okay, here's what looks to be a copy of this set of instructions. This might be the same thing as what I printed. Let me see. Oh, this is, okay, this is, yeah, this is basically the same as this. Yeah, so that's page 1. There's page 2. Doesn't really explain what the lights are for. If you can tell me, if you know what the lights are for, go ahead and comment down below, and tell me what those lights are for. Maybe it's just to verify, oh, maybe it, oh, it doesn't have anything to do with, oh! Well, there you go. There's your problem right there. See, you have, these are actually designed to go in an actual car. So these lights go in there to light up the gauges. I don't know that we need to worry too much about lighting up the gauges, to be honest with you. So yeah, there's the back. Here's the front. I already got fingerprints on it. Sorry about that. There's the front. These are the 2 mounting brackets. And yeah. So these look like to be adapters for the water sensor. That looks like to be the water temperature sensor. These are actually connection points there for the wiring that's going to go back here. And just take all this and throw it over there. Here's instructions that are the same as the instructions that we have here. Correct? Although for some, oh, this has a little bit extra. A little bit extra in here. It's kind of a diagram of the engine and a diagram of this. Actually, probably this came from the engine run test stand. So I have those 2 things. I have all of this. I have this, and I have these guys. I also brought in, because you need this in this diagram over here, you need a starter solenoid. Yeah, starter solenoid, which is this guy. Oh, which is that guy. And it's just a basic starter solenoid, not anything fancy, and it's certainly not concourse correct or what have you. And the instructions for that guy. I also have oh, I guess I could just walk over there and get it myself. You stay right here. One moment, please. Pardon me. Excuse me. Thank you. Pardon me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Pardon me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm walking over off camera like I tend to do, because these are, you can guarantee that these are spontaneous videos, because I don't prepare very well and keep things handy so I can get them handy. I got that. Oh, I can take these 2. These I can take with me. Yep. So again, in anticipation of how to do this whole dealio, I can bring you closer. We have some Irwin vice grip wire crimpers that look like they go from 10 to 22, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 22. These came with my Deutsch connectors. These are also strippers, 14, 12, and 10. 30, 28, and 26. So we didn't have anything between 14 and 26. And now we have 14, we have 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20, and 22. So we now have that full range from 10 all the way to 30, and almost just about everything in between. These came with my pretty fancy Deutsch connectors, which we eventually will use in the car to actually do the four-way crimping, which is the mil-spec aircraft quality crimping. And so the way this works is that you have to decide what size wire you're going to actually use. You then decide, okay, if we're going to use 16 gauge, there's 16 gauge. This actually locks in here like so. It's supposed to lock in. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Hold on. Sorry. This locks in here. This one, weird, I don't remember. Oh, you have to use, okay, sorry. Poor demonstration. You have to basically take this, you use the registration pin, you put this in here, you then tighten it down with the Allen wrench here to lock this in. You choose the gauge of your wire. Once you choose the gauge of your wire, you push that through and it stays on that gauge of wire. You then put it's like a little bullet connector you put in here with the wire inside. You squeeze down on this, and in 4 places, you can probably even see it. If you look right in here, it actually squeezes down in 4 places and gives you essentially what's considered a bulletproof connection that will not come apart, will not vibrate apart. And that's what they use to actually put wiring into aircraft. So anyways, crimpers, strippers, crimper strippers, crimper strippers, and basic set of 6 different color wires so that we can actually get used to wiring properly with the proper colors that go with that, as well as 63 million regular blade connectors that's really just going to be used just for this, plus any other extra stuff I might try to do that the Deutsch connectors aren't appropriate for. So with all of this in hand, we are going to be able to go through the wiring diagram with my friend's help and actually wire all this up correctly for the engine. In addition to obviously dealing with engine cooling, which we already have a radiator, and we ended up getting, again, also from the Amazon website, basic radiator hoses. There's another set of wire strippers. This actually goes from 10 to 24. So this was another recommended model. And it looks like you actually have a variability on this, which is actually really cool. And also, this is on this side is for the crimpers in addition to that one. So those will also be available to us during our process. And hose clamps. Always, if you're going to do hoses, you got to have hose clamps. So he actually gave me some, but I have some here. Once we get that sorted, we have to also mount the radiator on the stand. We have to modify the front of the stand because the gauge package that's there is too low. It's not high enough to make sure that the radiator can actually fit in front of the engine, because the engine is super high. I think another product of the engine stand being more universal than not. But that's where we're at. We got that, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got this, we got a bunch of those, we got a bunch of them, and a bunch of those. So all of this is going to turn into that, which means that at some point in the next 5 or 6 days, God willing, I will not blow up my garage and I will actually hear the engine run. Now, we're also waiting on pieces for an exhaust. Obviously there's exhaust headers already on the car. And on the back of the car, imagine this is the back of the engine. The exhaust headers come back this way and they kind of make these crazy turns. So what we're going to do is we have flange adapters that came with the headers that'll kind of get us to here. And then we have a 30-degree bend that will get us to come out relatively straight from the engine, coming straight back. We then have two straight pipes. They're 2 or 3 feet long. And then we have two mufflers coming, correct mufflers, correct style with the proper hangers on them, that we're going to put on the back end. Sorry, I'm just drawing fast because I got to go eat dinner. On the back end, so this will give us, it won't be as quiet obviously as a full exhaust, but at least help reduce the engine noise. Because we certainly don't want to disturb the neighbors. That's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to be good neighbors, good stewards of everybody's peace, but still be able to run the engine on a regular basis so that the engine is not just sitting and everything's draining out of it, and it's going to be, I think, bad. So there's a little unboxing video and a little preparation video. So what's coming up next with regards to the engine launching. We're not physically launching. We certainly don't want it to go anywhere, hence the stand. And so that's coming up soon. We're super excited. From Parts Unknown here in Project 21F, I want to thank everybody for continuing to support the channel by just watching the videos. That's super important. If you could do me a huge favor and just like and subscribe. There's no reason not to. I know you're watching, so you might as well just go ahead and push the button. These are fun. Fun to make fun of me, fun to laugh, fun to cry, fun to be supportive, because it doesn't cost anything. There's no memberships on this channel. It's all free. So from Parts Unknown here in Project 21F, it's on to the next adventure.